Good morning guys, it's sand dune day, and as you can see all the balloons are trailing behind and arriving just for briefing, which I'm about to go to now. It looks like a really interesting place to fly, but we'll see what the weather's going to be doing in a bit. I have a few apprehensions about this flight. Obviously I'm sure there won't be anything that will happen, but we're actually quite close to the Saudi border, and if anyone flies over the Saudi border, you'll be disowned, basically, put it that way. Also, there's a reason why I'm wearing yellow today, because if we get stuck and our retrieve can't get to us, I'm wearing a bright colour so I can be seen, whereas everyone else is wearing a dark colour. That will also help with not soaking up the sun's heat as much as well if we do get stuck. Hopefully we won't. The plan is to basically just stay within the confines of this area, because the winds up top are basically almost like a box flight. So fingers crossed we can do a box flight and there won't be any complications. I've never been to a desert before, and I have a few more apprehensions. I forgot to say, we had to deflate the tyres for 20 seconds each to bring the PSI down so that they can glide over the tops of the sand if they need to. But that's not a guarantee that you won't get stuck. The truck may still get stuck, but hopefully that won't happen. Also, we've had to we've hit our first complication. We're out of petrol in the fan, so we've had to borrow from a local team just behind us. Thank you very much for that. We're all starting to inflate, as you can see. As I said before, the plan is to stay within the confines of this general area, and at the moment the wind on the deck is that way, and up top it's more that way, so it's very light and variable, so fingers crossed we'll be able to just stay in this general area. Took a bit of time but managed to find a fan. Thank you very much Martin Reed, for allowing us to borrow your fan. As you can see, Shad's a little bit dusty, but I'll hopefully be able to sort that out when she gets back. We're all launching and we've all been given the go-ahead to go. As I said before, the idea is to stay low, go that way, and then climb, and then come back on yourself. So essentially a box. Make it easy for the retrieve driver. We cannot land on any of the dunes because the retrieve driver will not be able to get to us, and it will be a recovery job. So as you can see, there are already balloons in the sky, and as I said, on the lower decks it's that way, on the higher it's that way. So as I said, you can come back on yourself, and that's what we plan to do. Thanks guys! Right, so we're in the air, and at the moment we're tracking that way, and as I say, hopefully when we climb we can already see the balloons are going in the opposite direction. So very good chance of a box this morning, and hopefully that's what we'll get. Interesting environment.
Okay.
So as I said, great demonstration of a box flight. These two balloons are going in the opposite direction we're going in, and at around, I reckon, 300 foot you'll be going back on yourself, which is just nice. Oh, and forgot to mention, out there is the sea, so we can't go too far, but nice to know that there's a safe direction back. We've been in the air for about 10 minutes. We took off from just over there, and we don't want to drift too far over here just in case we lose the direction and we end up over the sea. That's not going to be funny. So we're going to follow everyone else now. We're going to climb And already we're starting to do a U-turn on ourselves. We've got one adventurous person out there. Just got to make sure there's no one above us, which there isn't, because we've made sure that we can climb. Yeah, most interesting place to fly in. Never thought I'd be doing this in January. In the air for about 15 minutes, and already you can see a racer's caught up with us. I'm sure if you remember rightly in the previous video, he was about right down here, and now he's right beside us. So you've got to be aware at all times of what the wind is doing, especially in these conditions in a box flight. Someone could go over the top of you and you may not see them. And here's the adventurous balloon that went a bit further than me. If you can just see behind him, that's the sea. So it is pretty close. It's about 5 miles, I'd say about 5 miles. Mesmerising just to see them all just dancing in random directions. So just to reiterate how important it is to stay aware of your environment, I've got a balloon just about to go underneath me. I won't be able to see him, but he can see me, and the rule of thumb is I have right of way. If I climb, he has to climb. We've got a little bit of company just with this nearly 30-year-old O-type, I believe, doing a touchdown on the dunes. What you call a splash and dash probably in sand terms. Everyone else is playing out here, and we're going to hopefully head back to them when the balloon above us has cleared us. So we'll climb again and we'll go back that way. That's the idea anyway. And there you go, there's the balloon. He's cleared me. Nicely done. That is of course the old Army Corps balloon, still flying after all this time. So I started to climb, so now I'm above this balloon. He has right of way. If he climbs, I have to climb, so I have to keep an eye on him, and I also have to keep an eye on this one here as well. But luckily I think this one will just about miss us. We may kiss fabric, but not too concerned with that one at the moment. I'm more concerned with this one down here. So hopefully we're going to head back that way now. We just took off from this little area here, as you can see, in the middle of the desert. Very, very exciting place to fly from. And as you can see, they've got clearance, unless of course they change course, and they are coming closer to me, so I have to keep an eye on them. And there's a show of how close the sea actually is. That's only about 5 miles away, but it looks so much closer. So we're heading back this way, and I'm hoping that we will curl round and come back to land where we took off from, which is about there. So we shall see. Everyone else seems to be going out this way, so we're going to follow the pack for a bit, come down, and then hopefully, as I said before, land here. I am registering on my tank. I have just over 27% on that tank, and I've been flying for about 30 minutes. Yeah, about 30 minutes. Seems strange just being in the middle of the desert here, and there's just this little oasis of life. So just gonna try and skim this top of this dune here. Still got balloons above us. everyone else is starting to land, I think. So we will probably be doing the same in a few minutes. It doesn't look like there's any rain, but it can always sneak up on you. That's interesting. Well, anyway, guys, we've landed safe. Oh, there's more. I've no idea where they've come from. I think they've come from, is that Saudi Arabia direction?
They wouldn't be allowed to fly here, so they're from Qatar.
Oh, they're from Qatar.
They wouldn't be allowed to fly here.
Right. Wow. Well, how about that for a salute for Shad? I guess this is what you call pure and utter silence. Never experienced it before. There's Shad. Only the occasional whisper of the wind. Just waiting for our retrieve. David's over there on that Dune hill. Here's the basket, here's the balloon, and I'm currently sitting on the balloon. Thank goodness it's not hot. It will get hot when the sun comes out though. But we've got plenty of water in the basket at the moment. But the nearest balloon is about 500 meters that way on that other hill. I have seen the other person walk down across that hill, but we've seen no cars and no trucks going past, and it's very eerily quiet, and also a little bit concerning because you're well away from civilization. I mean, don't know if you can see, but there's a couple of masts over there, but they've got to be at least 10 miles away. And without water, you won't last long out here, especially if it's hot. I just want to savour this moment. Absolutely pure and utter quiet. I've never experienced it before. Apart from, you can possibly hear my footsteps in the sand. But apparently our retrieve is just over that hill. We've been waiting for about 45 minutes, possibly longer. You've got no sense of time here unless you look at your phone. And luckily I still have a signal out here, as does David. But as I say, it's mind-blowing just how quiet it is. And when you're out here, you realise that when you say you're alone, you're not really alone. But you are truly alone out here. There's no one for miles, well, apart from David, he's just over that hill. But there's nothing, no civilization, nothing. So after 2 hours, and I've forgotten how many minutes, we're about to be rescued. Thank you, whoever you are. It's about to die. It's on 1%. I'm just going to quickly say we're still waiting out in the desert. It's been 5.5 hours. We've just managed to get this on its retrieve trailer, and hopefully it won't be too much longer, but luckily it's not too hot, so we're okay. Managed to get some power thanks to David with his charge pack. We landed at around I think it was around 8:30 this morning. It is now 2:20 and we are still here, and there is a Z or M400 here, which is a 400 cubic foot balloon, and the basket is there, and the pilot, who is in the blue, is now having to wait to be picked up with his basket. Very complicated turn of affairs, but my basket is now ready, as you can see in the background, sorry, there, ready to leave, and thank goodness it wasn't as hot as they anticipated it to be. Cloud cover, but it's crystal clear on around the desert now, and we're hopefully going to be on the move. So the 400 is being loaded into that basket. The bag for the balloon is actually somewhere behind us, somewhere probably about 3 miles away, and they're just currently loading. It's so hot out here right now, but they're actually loading the balloon into that basket, and that balloon weighs around 400 kilograms. These guys are phenomenal, that's all I can say. Oh, and here's my basket. I've had to take in 2 massive 80 Ultra Magic cylinders so that the trailer isn't overweighed. It's now 4:30 and we're finally out of here.